No shit.
Right. Only because.
See, only because what's coming up later, it's interesting that you didn't make it the first time.
Right. Physically wise and written test, they did good, but there was another diver at the station at the time, and the rationale was that they didn't want two divers at one station because if a dive detail came up, that would deplete the manpower at the station that I was assigned to, and there'd be no patrol coverage. So I either had to transfer or the other diver had to retire, and that's what happened. The other diver retired.
Really?
So it left an opening, and the second time around I got in. So I believe it was around 1980
Okay.
that I got on the dive team.
That's 8 years.
79,
That's 8 years on.
Right, yeah, it's because it's not, all these specialties is when there's an opening. So it's not something, if you try
Okay.
6 months from now, you can try again. You
Okay.
wait till an opening comes up and the school's available.
Okay. And okay, so you're on the dive team now.
Right,
So people don't even know that New York State Troopers, first of all, have a dive team.
true,
I didn't know it until our conversation.
right. The state police, New York State Police, being a full-service police agency, like I said, dogs, undercover, bombs. The scuba team, just as a side note, it's the largest state police scuba team in the nation.
Really?
So there's 65 divers throughout the state.
Today?
Today, one diver is turned a division dive officer. He oversees all the training and organization of the divers. And then each troop, the state is divided up into troops, geographical areas, has a team of 8 divers. There's 8 troops, 8 divers a team, 64, and the one division diving officer, 65.
It's the largest in the nation.
Largest in the nation.
And is it per capita? I mean, how's that work? Is it just that other states, well, of course, Kansas and Nebraska don't have a dive team, do they?
They probably do. I believe most states do. I know Pennsylvania didn't. They might have.
I mean, we're on the Great Lakes, we're on the ocean, we got Long
Right.
Island, so we're surrounded, we're literally on the Atlantic Ocean, plus we
Right.
got the Great Lakes, plus we got
all the
the
upstate
Finger Lakes. I mean,
yeah,
it's
I mean,
a
there's
land of 1,000 lakes here,
correct,
and rivers.
right.
Okay, all right. So your tenure there started in 8 years after, that's around 80. Okay?
Correct.
And tell us then how that progressed for you.
For
Were
me,
you specifically now, do you sit there in an office waiting for a dive type of situation, or did you do a patrol car and then when a dive situation came, they called you up like a volunteer fireman?
exactly.
Okay,
You go through, it's a 6-week school, again held at Albany, and then you come back for an additional 2 weeks of ice diving. You return to your,
what does that mean, ice diving?
you're taught diving in the winter. We dove
Okay.
year-round,
Okay,
so
okay, got it.
upstate New York, like you said, a lot of unfortunate circumstances, either vehicles going through the ice or through waterways that are, cold, 34 degrees.
You actually dive under ice?
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So that's a whole specialized course that's taught, because you have to be tethered, and then a lot of complications
Yeah,
once you get into ice diving.
yeah, wow.
So,
So
You have
you're certified at that?
yes,
Okay.
and in fact, the state police, the division diver, and what we term the senior divers who oversee each individual troop, were certified scuba instructors. So everybody that comes to the school is a certified diver, can go out to a sport diving or a resort, present the card, and do diving down there.
Okay, all right. How'd that career progress for you?
For me, it progressed very well. Backing up to answer your one question, when you go through the training, you return to your troop, and you're a trooper, as I mentioned earlier, patrolling. A detail comes up, say evidence is thrown into a river or lake that would connect an individual to a crime. The senior diver in that area notified a division diver in Albany that there's a dive taking place.
Yeah,
They're using a team of 8 men. They would call you. and you assemble at that place.
Got it.
So you start out as a basic, like a private.
Yeah.
You're just a basic diver. You can, within those 8, advance to the senior diver, what they
Okay.
call for the troop, which I did. Then from the 8 senior divers, the division diver selects from those 8 that he would use as instructors for any upcoming
Okay.
school or recertification.
And in the meantime, you're sitting in your patrol car
Right.
till that call comes in.
Till I call.
So in my mind, I'm associating my military, it's so military-like.
Paramilitary,
Yeah. It's so military-like.
right.
Because in my unit, I was a special ops type of unit, and when the call came in, you know,
You
you
went.
had 30 seconds to get on that helicopter
There you
and
go.
get dropped off into a firefight, an LZ, a hot LZ, and all those situations. But, you know, basically I did my what, you know, kind of what you're talking about, my daily routine of just marching and searching and doing this, and then bam, that call comes
The
in.
call comes
And
and
you immediately drop what you're doing and
Exactly.
and report. Is that,
Exactly.
am I getting it correct?
you got it. You grab your equipment, you report, and you could come back that night, you could be gone for a week,
Okay.
depending on what the detail is.
Okay. So you progressed through the ranks, as we know.
Progressed, I became a senior diver, then an instructor, then the assistant to the division dive officer, and then fortunately was able to take that spot as the division dive officer for the
so
state.
so it really is. I mean, you obviously have to keep in shape, and you obviously have to, you know, be able to handle yourself. But you know, just imagining in my mind, I mean, you've probably been no greater diver than the next guy. I mean, you know, am I understanding this correctly? I mean, your ability, your longevity, your rank, everything comes into play when
Exactly.
when you reach that next plateau. Correct?
Right.
Okay. I'm sure there's, you know, a lot younger guys come in and they're super divers and all that
Sure.
stuff. You know, we
Sure.
had